everyone, it's Chris from Clearly Crafted Artistic Design. I have a video that I was going to do showing how I made this little votive holder. This is going to a charity organization. It's very, very delicate and feminine. I was even surprised at, how it came out. Some napkins are more bold when you put them on, and some become very, translucent. So this one was nice. This votive started out as plain clear glass, and then it had a coat of iridescent medium on it, and I have other videos showing how I go about doing that. And then this went from the iridescent medium to this mulberry paper, which I have a sheet here to show you. So they call this white, but it's definitely more cream. So be careful when you're buying. You can see the difference. This is another white one I have. This one is marked, I think this is Dragon Cloud paper from Amazon. And this one definitely comes up more neutral, cream colored off-white than white. So I'm using that. I had that on there. And then I have this really pretty napkin I got. I was surprised it's pretty thin, so we're going to have to see how it goes on. I haven't used any of it yet. I bought the whole pack for like $1.99 at, I think it was the Christmas tree store. Kind of liked it, but it is very thin, so I'm not sure how it's going to go on. So what I want is this piece here. I'm just going to cut this out, kind of selectively to put on the one side, and then I want to cover it with Mod Podge mixed with glitter. So I'm going to see how that comes out. But I just wanted to show you how to do this. So I'm dipping my brush in water. When you're you'll see a lot of decoupage where they're cutting out very closely around the piece. If you're doing a flat piece, that's okay. And you're going to put on a lot of coats of varnish to kind of hide the edge, because the idea of decoupage is that it's supposed to look blended into the back. It's not supposed to look like a sticker stuck on. So I'm going to go around the edges of this with water. And then I will start tearing it out. And I'm really looking at what piece, how much of this design I want. I think I'm going to go to there. Might look. And we'll see. So I'll start tearing here. And I'm going to go very carefully because I don't want to lose any piece of the picture that I want. So I'm going to hold and kind of carefully tear. And then I'll go back. Sometimes if it has a little bit too much, I can go back and tear it off. But in general, I'm going around the edges. I know I don't really, I might leave that. And I don't want the blue. I'm just sticking really with these pink flowers. And you can cut it along the border so you have less that you have to work with. I was just going to use the water. And with having a whole pack of these napkins, I'm not that worried about the edges. I keep pulling it and see how I'm separating it. It's coming out pretty good. And you just want to, and I want these delicate flowers here, and I know I want that top. And I want that little bit of green, and then I'll go there to that edge. And then I'll clean up the rest of that. I don't know if you can see what I'm tearing here. Yeah, and this is a pretty thin napkin. I don't believe these are German napkins. Usually you can tell the quality and the difference. Yeah, that's coming out well. And then I think I'm going to go from here. I don't want that. You can see I'm just drawing with the water around what I want to use. And then you just tear along that water line gently. You want that fray. That fray is what gets it to blend into the background so that you don't have the edge. If I use scissors and cut it, I'm going to have a more defined edge that's going to really show up. So this then blends into the back. And you can see how that is. See this straight edge? This is going to go along the bottom anyway. You can see I'm looking at how this is going to go on here and what pieces, what am I going to take off? Am I taking it all the way to the top? You know, how do I want this? So, and you can see, and then you can work on placement, how you want it. I kind of like it like that. Do I want it a little more to the side? And if I'm going to take this off, I think I will, and kind of have it a little more centered. No, I think I like it like that. So it will, this edge will be down. And I think that that's a pretty pink. I haven't done any pink ones, so I think I'll take some more of this off. And that's, a lot of it is finding your place, your placement, where you want your piece to go, and setting it up. It's all about the visual. And that's why, I mean, I putter around with things. If I don't like it, and then I change it. This has the white background, which is nice. So I'm going to see how I can get this to go on here. I'm going to take the rest of that napkin, and that'll be a few more pieces. I can pop out one or two of those pieces. So now I'm going to set up my handy doohickey. You know, those are technical terms that my husband made me for when I'm working on the glass. And I can set things on it, see? And it holds it so I can work on it without it pulling. Now I've said before when I show you these that you can see that this has the lines and the striations in it. So it's not going to matter so much because I'm doing, this is flowers. It's not a face, it's not something where I want it to really stand out. But this side probably works a little better. And I'm going to work on getting this set for here. Now this is a big piece, so, and you can see how there's some molding here, and that's when you get wrinkles. That's where you got to watch your wrinkles and how you're going to get them and how that's going to go around. So this will end up going a little more down here, and you can see that's where I'm going to end up placing it. So this one should separate easily. Where you see these little dots that holds the napkin together, that's why they have all of those little dots. It's to, if you take your nail and you just go along there, you break the seal of the napkins, all the different layers sticking together, and then you can, it makes it a little easier. Some people wet their fingers, and you know that can always tear. So this has less tearing. And work on getting these apart. There we go. Sorry, that's the tedious part. And that's one. And I know it looks like that's it, but there's not. You can tell there's another layer there still attached. And until we get down to that layer, that's why, you know, you just want to work with the one ply. You can see there it's just buckled a little bit. There we go. Trying to get them apart. Sometimes this is the hardest thing. And there you're going to see how I'm pulling these apart carefully. And we'll see how that'll go on there. And you can see how delicate that's going to look on there. All right, and that's where I'm going to want it. So I'm going to take one of my brushes, and I have my satin Mod Podge. And this, I'm not even going to work with the glitter yet. This is all just getting the piece on. The glitter will go on later. So I'm going to start my usual. Now I always go side to side rather than the top down. I find it goes better. And I have less wrinkles. If I come down from the top, I'm going to get more wrinkles. And I'm just slowly securing this. You can see this is really thin. This is the kind that wrinkles. This is probably not your best quality napkin. And sometimes that's one thing you can tell too by how it's going on. People get really frustrated. You buy napkins at some of the discount stores and they're not always the best quality, and you can tell how it is to work with them. It can be very difficult and frustrating, especially if you're just starting. Like this one is one that's going to wrinkle like crazy. I'm okay with some wrinkles. I'll turn this way a little bit because this one is a really, really thin napkin. I have to look and see where it's made, but you can see. So I'm just gently using a dry finger and making sure my finger's not wet with glue or water, because that will definitely tear this napkin. I'll switch. And this one's definitely going to get a few little wrinkles, but they'll be less noticeable. Because of the mulberry paper underneath has the creasing in it too. And I have to make sure I'm going in a line up and down. If I seal over here and then go and get a seal there, there's going to be a wrinkle right here. So it's kind of creeping my way over. And you can see there's going to be a crease here. I'm okay with that, and I'm going to actually force that crease because I want it there. It's not messing up my design. See? That crease there looks like it's a piece of the mulberry paper underneath. And we're just going to slowly walk it down. So while this design is pretty, I definitely don't think this is a great quality napkin. So I'll use pieces of it, but using it in big pieces like this, it gets frustrating. So making it work though. There we go. All right. That's down plenty. And down here where you can see it's got that curve. All right. See? So, well, a little more difficult to get to go down. And you can see that those are all going to come out. This will end up looking nice, especially with a layer of glitter. Glitter hides flaws too. FYI. So, coating of glitter can make you feel better about any project. So, and then we're going to go back and we're going to do the other side. So, and again, I'm not rushing, especially with this napkin, because this sucker's going to tear. Please excuse my voice, I'm just getting over a cold. I'm going to put this down actually, because this one's going to be harder to go this way, because the one side's down already, so there's no flexibility. So I need to really creep this. And I don't want it to be too wet. That's why it's just a light coating of Mod Podge, because if it comes through, it's going to get sticky, and then it's going to be hard to work with, and my finger's going to stick, and then it's going to tear. See there? There's a along the curve of the glass. I'm going to walk up, and you can see where there it's trying to bend a little bit. So I'm just kind of keeping a little bit firm on there. And there is some give to a napkin. You have to realize it is paper. So sometimes when it gets wet, it will stretch a little bit, which is good. You just have to be comfortable with letting that happen slowly so that it doesn't tear. Like this here, up here, wants to get a little wonky on me. I'm just go lightly because of the curve of this glass. You can see there, that wants to wrinkle. Perfection is overrated. A few little wrinkles does not hurt anything, and I think it gives it a little character. This one's going to be difficult because of where it is. So, watch. I'm going to show you a little trick. Do a little cut. As we come up here. All right. So that's down. Has a couple little creases in it, but they will come out, and you'll see after it gets a coat of Mod Podge, you'll be surprised at how much that all goes away. And that little cut that I put in it there is going to look like where I put it was strategically placed. It looks like it's split in the flower. See? So now I'm just going to cover this with Mod Podge, and we're going to let it dry, and then I'll come back and show you the next.